Welcome back to part 3 of this tutorial series. It sounds like you guys really enjoy this, and I'm really happy to hear that. I've been working on a different channel, but I visit this channel visit it once a month, just checking up on it, and I saw a ton of comments requesting part 3, so let's go ahead and do it. So we made our custom action bar with an with a options menu button in our menu right here. In this tutorial, we're going to, instead of just one function, check for updates that doesn't do anything, we're going to have several options right here. A list of options that actually have functionality. So let's go ahead and do that. We first want to head into our menu because we're going to be adding more menu items. And if we go into the XML, let's just go ahead and copy and paste this section of code. And instead of just action settings, as we call it, we're going to have help settings. We're going to have let's just call it help. We're going to have settings, and we're going to have update. All right. So if we go into our design, you see we have these. Why do they all say check for updates? Remember, since we copied and pasted, our title is referring to settings name. We're going to name this help name, settings name, and update name. So now we need to create strings that correspond to this help and update name. So go into our strings, XML, copy and paste this. Instead of we have an update name, settings name, help name, settings name, and update name. Now, it doesn't have to be in that same order. I just want to keep it consistent. And our string is going to just say help. This one's just going to say settings. Pretty straightforward. Now if we go back into our menu, you see that we do not have an error. And here we go. Help settings, check for updates. So, very cool. But now these really don't do anything. They're just, they're there, but they don't have any functionality. So what we're going to have to do is go into our activity main, all right, our main activity Java class, and on options item selected, we're going to have to add some stuff. So we're going to go over this real quick. OnCreate creates the view, sets the content view to like this, to this activity. It loads this code right here. We created a toolbar right here when it creates the program, and we set the action bar, which is what this thing is called, to this toolbar widget that we created. So this is like our custom action bar. Then what it did was it created this 3 dots right here, created options menu. And this parameter menu is inflated to this action bar, you see. So we inflate this layout with our menu. And prior to the code we just wrote, all we had was check for updates. Now, if we were to run it, we see we have 3 right here because it inflated the whole menu. Okay, and then our onOptionsItemSelected is basically tells you which item you selected. It doesn't know, did I hit help, settings, or check for updates? So that's what we're going to do right here. So we're going to add a switch statement, which is going to give us the item that we click in our menu, whichever menu item we clicked, and then we're going to test that menu item, see which one it is. So in the case that it is the ID help, because that is what I named my ID, right here you could see it's help, or if you go in the XML, I named it help. Next one was settings, and the next one was update. So in case this, we're going to just, this is the help one, and then you want to break on switch statements. case it is settings, we're going to do something with settings, break. Then the case it is update, we're going to do something with update and break. And right here I missed a semicolon. Now the case that it's in neither of these, if some error happens, it's called default. What if none of these, this is basically an if statement. If we click help, if we hit settings, if we hit update, but it's, you know, like more efficient or whatever. So the case that it's neither of these, we have an unknown error, okay? And we don't have to break out of that. The break here is whenever we have some code, whatever code we have, you know, say this is a whole block of code. If we hit help, it's going to run this line, this line, this line, this line, this line, this line. When it gets here to a break statement, it's going to end, and it's going to break out of the switch statement, and the next line it executes is this right here. It returns. If there was no break, what it would do is it would execute this line all the way down, this line, and it says, oh, nothing's there. We're going to keep going, and it's going to execute everything in here, whatever's in there. So that is why we break, to separate these. So for help, what we're going to do is we're going to add a toast. We're going to do make text, get application content. We're going to say help. We're going to do toast.length short, and we're going to show it. What this does is it makes a toast that says help. It gets the context of our app, displays help, and for a short period of time. What that means is this right here. Boom. You knew we hit help. If we hit settings, it doesn't do that. But if we hit help, it does. So we're going to implement this right here in all of these. Instead of help, we're going to say settings. Instead of update, what are we going to do? That's right, update. Actually, we'll say, you know, latest version installed or something like that, you know, be a little fancy. So if we run it one more time, you see we have settings, settings. I already showed you help, check for updates, latest version installed, you know. If you want it to be longer, what do? You make that long. All right, guys. So that's cool, but wouldn't it be cool if we could make this go to a new page? Okay, so let's do that. We're going to go into our app, do a new, what is it, activity. We're going to do a settings activity. See, it already has has this all set up for you. We're going to name it settings activity, make sure it's in our package, and just hit finish. This is going to import some stuff. It has it all written out for you because, like I said, it is a default settings activity. So let's go ahead into our Java. We see it. We have our main activity still. We also have a settings activity with a settings XML, as we can see right here. And we have some other stuff, headers. It's kind of like the strings, I guess. We have this page and like this page. So let's go ahead. This is all built into settings activity right here and preference activity. You can go ahead and customize this code as you like. I'm not going to do that in this video. If you guys have any questions about this, leave a comment, and in the next tutorial I will, we can make some changes in here to make it kind of cool. But anyway, we're going to go into our main activity, and we're going to make this switch. Whenever we hit settings in our app, we're going to display the settings. So in our settings part, instead of just showing a toast, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new intent. Okay. And we're going to just do this, and then the settings dot or settings activity dot class. Now we're going to hit options enter, import what we need for intent, and this creates a new intent based new intent or like instance, I guess, of this activity. That's my understanding of what an intent is. Now we're going to start activity settings. So whenever we click this, it's going to create this intent and start it. So let's go ahead and run it. Here we go. We got this. We have help. And if we hit settings, boom, gives us our settings. It's already built in. And now all you have to do is go into that code, go into that code right here and change it up. We could even go in here, as you see, vibrate. We can add some more stuff if we want, just by, changing this stuff up. But that is very cool. We have our own settings menu now. And it's, you can navigate through it. So, very cool. Let's go ahead and add something for help. Let's go back into our main activity. And instead of just doing a toast, we are going to make a new activity. So let's go into our app, new, activity, empty activity. And we're going to name this help activity. We're not going to go do anything there, but in our layout, we will. Just drag in a text view and kind of put it over here. Go into our XML, and here we're going to say help text. For our ID, we're going to, the text, we're going to say created by your name. And instead of constraint layout, I always use relative layout. That way we can move this around relative to things in the layout. For example, notice how it locks to the edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that. Margin start 10 dp, and margin top, from the top of it, we're going to do 10 dp. Here we go. Now let's make this a little bigger. Let's do, let's see, not sure why that's red. So let's do margin top and margin left. There we go. And then we're also going to say right here, Android text size, and we're going to go ahead and do 19 SP. So notice we have dp in millimeter, inches, millimeter, points, pixels, SP. What you want to do is use dp or SP. Now, this is pixel density. This is scaled pixel density, I think. All I know, you could look all this up. It's very well documented online. Just Google DP versus SP Android. And SP is used for text size because whenever you change the font size in your device, say in your settings on your phone, you want large font, it will change this. It may change this, but not exactly. So SP is used for all texts. Everything else, always use DP. So there we go. We got a big text right here. And this is our activity help. So in our main activity, we're going to make an intent, help equals new intent, and we're going to say help activity.class, and then we're going to start that activity after we click it. Now let's go ahead and run this. Boom, we got a help created by TechBrah, and we got a settings, and we got check for updates, latest version installed. There we go, guys. Now, check this out. We have a help, but notice there's no back button. You have to hit this. What we're going to do is real quickly put another toolbar up here and let us hit back. So this is going to be the advanced step of this tutorial, and in the next tutorial we're going to, I'm going to think of something for the next, the next tutorial I'll explain in a little bit. So for now what we're going to do is we're going to add a toolbar to this activity so we could hit a back button. So in our activity help, we already created the app bar, which is in our main activity right here, which is this guy right here. So in our help activity, we're simply going to include that as well. Layout, app bar, there we go. Now we got a layout. We also want to add our layout height. We're going to wrap it, and our layout width, and we're going to wrap it. Actually, for our width, let's fill parent. So in our design, we see it's right here. So let's go ahead and run. Actually, before we run this, we also want to give it an ID. We're going to name it app bar. So here we go. We got this. We want to move this created by TechBrah down below this guy. Yeah, whatever. That's fine. Just move it below it. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and run this. Actually, before we run this, I'll show you what happens if we run this. So we got an error. Now, why was there an error? It says because no resource found that matches the given name, app bar, right here. Okay, so we actually have to add a plus sign there because we're adding app bar. Without the plus sign, we're basically like, remember in that last tutorial, like where we were doing like a background color and stuff, and we did at color / a color. Yeah, that's for an existing color. So this is for an existing ID. Since we're creating the ID, we do a plus sign. Now, if we were to run this, what would happen? Well, it's going to launch. However, whenever we hit help, we have this and nothing else. So why is that? Why doesn't that look the same as this? Because just like in our main activity, where we set this support action bar, we have to do the same in our help activity because we included it in our help activity. So, very simple. We're going to copy and paste that code, set support action bar, and then we're going to go ahead and do action bar. So actually, we're going to find the toolbar, set the action bar, and now, if we run this, we have a help and an action bar. But we want a back button. So to get the back button, we must create an action bar object. We're just going to name it AB. And it's going to be get support action bar. Okay. Now, for that AB, we're going to set home as up indicator enabled, true. What this means is this toolbar right here is a toolbar widget, and we set it as our support action bar. Now we're going to get it, and we can't just use toolbar because what this did was like it set the toolbar as an action bar. Now we're getting that action bar object as AB in this line of code, and then we're going to add this back button by doing set display home up as enabled. We're going to say true. So if we hit help, boom, back button. But it doesn't go back. So why didn't it go back? So to add the back functionality, we're going to go into our Android manifest.xml. And we want help activity. What we have is a parent activity. Okay, and the parent, we want the parent of it to go back to this guy right here, my action bar, the main activity. So we're going to do Android parent activity name equals parent activity name equals main activity. Now if we were to run it, it knows the parent is the main. So any back button we do, it will go back to our main. Help back. Boom, there we go. So that's the tutorial 3. For the 4th tutorial, instead of help right here, we're going to add a little info icon right here that we can click, and we're going to have multiple things along this bar. So we had multiple menu items in our options menu. Now we're going to have multiple items in our action bar. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment if you liked it. Tell me what you want me to add in the 4th tutorial or the 5th tutorial, whatever, and I will be sure to add it. Thanks.